So, what if a nation's entire history, all its pain, its division, its future, was actually part of a single divine plan? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating spiritual worldview from a speaker named Jungbub. He lays out exactly that, a prophetic mission for Korea that, if he's right, is made to reshape the entire world. Okay, so the whole thing really hinges on this one sentence. According to the speaker, this was taught to school children before they could even properly read. You were born on this land with the historical mission of the nation. You gotta understand, this wasn't just some patriotic slogan. It was meant to be planted deep inside their minds, to become part of their core identity right from the start.
So what is this mission they were supposedly learning about? It's probably not what you're thinking. We're not talking about conquest or, national glory. It's actually something way bigger, and it's all defined by one very powerful idea.
And here it is. This is the key. Inyu Gungyung. Basically, it means the co-prosperity of all humanity. The whole point is that the nation's purpose is completely altruistic. The mission isn't really for Korea, it's a mission that's happening through Korea for the benefit of everybody on the planet.
But, okay, how does a simple chant that kids repeat supposedly morph into this grand global destiny? Well, the explanation we're given is pretty wild. It describes a kind of divine mechanism, like a cause and effect chain that gets kicked into gear by the collective voice of these kids.
So here is how it's laid out, step by step. First, you've got the children, all chanting their mission over and over again. This acts like a massive collective call out to the divine. That call then attracts help. But the help that shows up isn't money or military power. No, it's something way more valuable. All of humanity's knowledge just funneled directly into Korea. And the scale of this claim is, well, it's just staggering. We are talking about the accumulated wisdom of the last 5,000 years of human history. Every single idea, every ounce of logic, every cultural breakthrough, all of it, according to this worldview, was divinely sent to the Korean peninsula. It basically turned it into the ultimate hard drive of human thought.
Now this is where things get really interesting. This idea of Korea being a vessel for all global knowledge leads to a complete reinterpretation of one of the most tragic parts of its history, the division of the peninsula. In this worldview, the split between North and South wasn't a political disaster. It was a necessary, calculated move in a much bigger, divine game.
And this is the core of the whole geopolitical argument. The two Koreas are not enemies. Not really. They're two halves of a whole, and each one has a critical job to do. The South's role was to take in and process all of that global knowledge, and the North's job, to be a shield, to sacrifice itself, block all outside interference, and make sure the South could complete its mission undisturbed.
I mean, think about that for a second. This just completely reframes modern history. The North's isolation, its suffering, it's not seen as a political failure here. It's viewed as a deep, profound, and necessary sacrifice, a sacrifice made to protect the South's sacred duty of absorbing the world's wisdom.
But here's the twist. According to the speaker, after getting this incredible gift of knowledge, and after having the North act as its ultimate shield, the people in the South lost their way. They completely forgot what the whole point was.
And the critique here is pretty sharp. The argument is that this massive spiritual inheritance is just being squandered. The focus shifted away from the collective mission of Inli Gongyong, of serving humanity, and toward purely individual, material things. People are just chasing their own success, all while totally forgetting the sacrifice their northern brothers and sisters supposedly made for them.
To really drive the point home, this very personal, everyday example is used. The question about eating jjajangmyeon, a common noodle dish, is designed to make you stop and think. It's meant to highlight this deep disconnect from the national mission and from the people who, in this story, made all their prosperity possible. But, even with that tough critique, the message doesn't end with despair. It actually pivots to this huge prophecy for the future, a final destiny that, it's argued, can still be fulfilled, but only if the nation wakes up and remembers its original purpose. And that ultimate destiny is wrapped up in this concept of Hongik Ingan. It's less of a title and more of a job description. To become leaders who broadly benefit all of humanity. And the tool they're meant to use to do this is that 5,000 years of accumulated wisdom they were given.
And now we get to the final and probably the boldest claim in this entire worldview. To make it easier for these Hongik Ingan to lead, the Korean language itself is destined to go global. to become a primary language for the whole world.
So this timeline lays out a pretty dramatic shift. It starts now, with English on top. But soon, the idea is that Korean scholars will reveal the unique perfection of their language. This then leads to a future where Korean is adopted right alongside English as a global language, so everyone can communicate seamlessly with these Hongik Ingan leaders. And eventually, all other languages will just sit down and take a back seat.
At the end of the day, this worldview gives one powerful, all-in-one answer to what a national mission could even mean. It's a story that weaves spirituality, geopolitics, and history all together. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. How does a narrative like this, whether you believe a word of it or not, end up shaping the identity and the actions of a people on the world stage?